to the East region. Purdue, and I believe it's going to be Farley Dickinson. That game is going on as we are recording this right now, but only one time a one seed's lost to a 16 seed. That stays that way. Purdue goes into the second round. Memphis, FAU. I like Memphis here. I think Penny Hardaway has been playing really good the last few times. I think this is going to be a good battle of two veteran-laden programs. Both teams have experienced backcourts. I like Memphis in the end. I think they have just a little bit more talent, and I think that wins out. Duke, Oral Roberts, 5-12 seat matchup, and honestly, I just wish both teams would lose. Both don't have any redeeming qualities whatsoever about their programs. And if it was any other team other than Duke playing Oral Roberts, I probably would pick Oral Roberts to win. But that's who Oral Roberts gets in a tough draw. I'm going to go with Duke. And in the 4-13 matchup, Tennessee, Louisiana. I like Louisiana. I think Tennessee has not been the same since their point guard tore his ACL. And I think we get a 13 upset in a 4.
And Tennessee's a team you can't trust in the tournament.
And Rick Barnes is the head coach. Yep. And then we go down to Kentucky Providence. And I like Kentucky. I think this is one of them weird years where Calipari figures something out. There's not many expectations. I think he's just going to let his guys go out there and play free. And I think that's going to lead them to a win over Providence. And then Kansas State, Montana State, 3-14. I like the Wildcats. I've got to represent Coach Kleiman and Gene Taylor, former Bisons. We're going to roll with them. And then Michigan State, USC. I like Michigan State. I think Tom Izzo has had some extra time after losing to Ohio State in the Big Ten tournament. I think they are poised to go on a run in March. This seems like similar with Cal. I think this is a similar situation with Michigan State. And Izzo is not high expectations. You're going to go play with nothing to lose, and it's going to reflect on the scoreboard. And Marquette, Vermont. I like Marquette. Shaka Smart, they're playing well. They're the Big East champs, playing some of the best ball that they've played since he's been at Marquette. And I think he gets himself into the second round. So back up to the top, Purdue, Memphis. I've got an upset, 8-1. I like Memphis. Matt Painter, last I checked, is still coaching Purdue. Similar to Tennessee, I have notes written down that from last year, do not trust certain teams. Purdue is on that list. I'm going to roll with Memphis to move on. Duke, Louisiana. I think Duke is playing really well as well. Short, only one day to prepare. I trust John Shire over Louisiana. And I think Duke goes back to the Sweet 16. Kentucky, Kansas State. I like Kentucky. I don't know. Just seems like a team of destiny. And I think they're playing well. They've got a tremendous player. Can't think of the guy's name. Can't really pronounce it either. So I don't.
Oscar Sheway?
Yeah. Yeah. Yep. Oscar Sheway. So I like a 6 seed to upset the 3, Kansas State. And then MSU Marquette. Ooh, and I bounce back and forth with this one. And do you know that Marquette has not won an NCAA tournament game since 2013?
So you're saying they're due?
With Shaka Smart.
Was it against Shaka Smart?
It was probably with him.
No, he wasn't at Marquette.
He was at VCU.
Then.
Would have been VCU, right?
Was he then in 2013?
Yeah, no, Marquette lost to, or VCU lost to Michigan that year in the second round. And he hasn't been to the Sweet 16 since he made his Final Four run. I think Michigan State pulls it off against Marquette, and Shaka Smart still cannot find his way to the second weekend of the tournament. So now which sets up a Sweet 16 matchups between Memphis and Duke, and I like Duke. I don't like saying it. There's nothing. I'm proud to admit that I'm picking Duke, but I like Duke going to the Elite Eight in John Shire's first year. Now, Kentucky, Michigan State. the whole January, February Izzo, that's overrated. It's not Izzo. It's not a nickname for March for him. I like Kentucky and Coach Cal, so which sets up a all blue blood matchup in the Elite Eight in the East region. Duke, Kentucky, and you know what? The old Kentucky home is going to be going to Houston, and that's their new home. So I like Kentucky going to the Final Four, which sets up an all SEC semifinal.
Interesting.
It's definitely interesting. Purdue wins.
And also I picked sorry to interrupt, but
You're fine.
I picked Kentucky over Duke because we do not need to see Duke in the Final Four again.
This is fair.
We know what's not fair is that's in Madison Square Garden. That's going to be a Duke home game.
Oh yeah, too much of Daddy's money. But Ethan, you're up.
Purdue wins first one quite easy. I don't think either team really get. I guess I don't know who won. It's probably over now, but doesn't matter. But Memphis, Florida Atlantic. I know nothing about Florida Atlantic. I saw Memphis even without what's his name, Sasser for Houston, beat the living shit out of them last weekend in the championship. So they have some dudes there, so they're going to advance past Florida Atlantic. Dylan, I'm sorry, we're just going to get rid of Duke right away. We are going to go with Oral Roberts. I don't think they've played a team that plays actually like Oral Roberts. They average 11 threes made a game, which is absolutely ridiculous. On top of that, they have the guys that have been there. Duke is so young this year. These guys haven't been at this type of thing. And Paul Mills, Abmas, they're looking to go back to the Sweet 16. And I like their chances. They went to the Sweet 16, right?
Yeah, they beat Ohio State.
Yeah, that's right.
And they actually their starting five has an average older age than the Oklahoma City Thunder.
I definitely believe that. Like I think they do beat. I mean, it's probably the worst matchup they could have asked for in the 12-5, but I legitimately think they win that game. Tennessee, Louisiana, same thing Dylan said. Tennessee's without Ziegler, their point guard. They've been nothing even remotely close to what they were before. So the Raging Cajuns are out racing Tennessee off the floor. Kentucky, Providence. Providence's coach is being brought up in the Georgetown search. It's got to be a huge distraction for the team. Everyone's hearing it. So take Kentucky. I don't think Providence is going to be up for it. Kansas State, Montana State. I'll take Kansas State. Keontae George is going to – is that his name? Who's the guy? Keontae Johnson. That's the guy who damn near died at Florida. He's a stud, so he'll carry him. Michigan State, USC, the Pac-12 sucks. The Big Ten wins by default. So Michigan State advances. And then Marquette, Vermont. Marquette wins even though I think his name's Becker, Vermont's coach. Is probably the most underrated coach in the country. How he hasn't gotten another job is beyond me.
They don't know how to get to Vermont.
They must not. They must not like.
I don't think I've never met anybody from Vermont. So are we even sure Vermont exists?
Well, I think
it does. They have good maple syrup.
People just once you get north of Massachusetts, people forget about that area.
It's Canada.
They think it's all Maine.
It is.
Like Vermont, New Hampshire, Maine, it's just one big state.
Yeah, it's like its own
little country up there. They just
yeah.
They like to tap their syrup trees and shoot moose.
Yeah, that's fair. But back to the bracket. I was very tempted actually to take Memphis over Purdue too, but Gillis for Purdue's been playing a hell of a lot better. He's a huge X factor. If he can knock down shots, it opens up the middle a lot more for Edey, and I don't think Memphis has any big dudes that can handle him down low. Oral Roberts, Louisiana, just your classic 12-13 matchup in the second round. I'm taking Oral Roberts. They're going back. Abmas is a stud, and honestly, you can hate Paul Mills if you want. He's a good coach. He is a dick.
He is. Well, his name's also. I don't think he's going to be coaching at Oral Roberts next year.
Oh God, no. I guess Abmas has 1 year left, so he could bring.
No, he's done after this year.
No, he has 1 year left.
Are you sure?
He has the COVID year. No,
this was his COVID year.
I don't think so. I saw someone tweet he could leave and bring Abmas with him.
Huh.
But maybe the guy was wrong. Kentucky, K-State, the Battle of the K's goes to the Little Apple. Manhattan moves on. Go Gene Taylor, this pick is for you. Michigan State, Marquette. I just don't think Michigan State's that good this year. Marquette is freaking loaded for whatever reason. I didn't think they'd be good coming into the year, but they are really good, so they're moving on. Then we got Purdue, Oral Roberts. I almost actually picked Oral Roberts to win this game because they had a guy that's actually an inch taller than Zach Edey, but he's probably also about 100 pounds lighter. So I didn't think that would be a good idea. So Purdue moves on to the Elite Eight. Kansas State, Marquette. Marquette moves on. K-State, I don't think has enough scoring to get by Marquette. But Purdue, Marquette, I'm taking Marquette. I think their guards are better. They're older. At some point, the young pups for Purdue are going to run out of steam, and Marquette advances to the Final Four.
Would that be the first Final Four since Dwayne Wade?
I would assume so, yeah.
All right, well, so my turn here in the East region. In Purdue, they're playing the teams of the deaf and the blind, so Purdue advances.
Purdue by default.
Yeah. If you're playing Farley Dickinson, this is college, not a high school. This is Division I basketball.
Texas Southern also sounds like a.
I guess it does. So Purdue by default, we can sharpie them into the Sweet 16. There's your first Seth Davis reference for the night. 8-9. I'm with you guys. I'm gonna go Memphis because I'm with you. I know nothing about Florida Atlantic. I just know that Penny Hardaway's got a good team there in Memphis, and he can recruit well. So we're gonna go with the Tigers to advance. And then the 5-12 matchup in there. I wanted to take Oral Roberts, but I'm going to go with Duke. Duke, they're unfortunately playing somewhat better basketball here towards the end of the year. But again, I'm with Ethan. I think the ACC is just garbage this year, so it's not like Duke's that good of a team. And then Tennessee, Louisiana. Well, guess what, boys? It's a clean sweep. We're going to go Louisiana.
Are you still traumatized, or do you have the emotional damage from last year of what Tennessee
I sure
did to you?
do. I'm not gonna lie. That dinner at Fogo made it better, but still, the fact that my national champions decided to shit out the second round of the weekend, and against the Michigan
baby.
Wolverines, just makes you sick.
And they're back in the Sweet 16.
Unfortunately, so with that, we're gonna go Louisiana, and then.
Fuck you.
I'm gonna need some help here on the. Is it Kentucky Providence?
Kentucky Providence.
I'm just gonna go with just Kentucky here. They're playing better towards the end of the year with all that talent. They're gonna rebound from last year's traumatizing loss to St. Peter, and they're gonna win Kansas State.
I totally forgot about that.
Yep, because they're what?
When do they suck this year? They're still having thoughts on that.
Well, and from Seton Hall, that's where St. Peter's coach went, right? Yep.
Yeah. God, can you imagine if they would have played them first round instead of Providence or something?
Because the whole St. Peter's team essentially transferred to Seton Hall.
Yeah.
But the 3-14, I'm going to go with the Kansas State. They've been battle tested all year in the Big 12, so the Wildcats advance. And then I'm going to need some help here on this next one.
Kansas State, Montana State.
Sorry, Kansas State. I'm going to take Kansas State here. Montana State is only good at football, and they're not playing football the last time I checked. So we're gonna go with the Wildcats.
Deal.
And if you ask former guest Mike Zier, he will never admit Montana State's good at football. But that's neither here nor there. So
Michigan State, USC.
Yep.
Pac-12 is garbage. USC's not good. Michigan State. It's the tournament time. I think Izzo's going to get a win here, so I'll go with the Spartans there.
All right, and then Marquette, Vermont.
Well, we're not shooting moose and we're not tapping maple trees, so Marquette by default.
That is good. That is good, Grant. Second round games. You had Purdue? You had Purdue, Memphis, right?
I don't know if James Wiseman is not playing for the Memphis Tigers, so they do not have anyone who can match up with Edey. I'm going to go with Purdue to advance into the Sweet 16 because you can trust Matt Painter in March. It's just once you get to the Sweet 16, that's when you cannot anymore. So we're with the Boilermakers there. And then Duke in Louisiana, right? Yep. Unfortunately, I'm going to go with the Dukies. I just think They're going to be too much for Louisiana. Louisiana's going to be going off that high of beating Tennessee, and then they're just not going to be able to rebound a day later with that.
Alrighty. And then we've got Kentucky,
Matchup
Kansas
of the
State. A battle of the Wildcats. Yeah.
And give me Little Manhattan. Give me the team who's been
Little
battle
Apple.
tested all year. Kansas State, they're ready. They're going to be ready for a game like this. I don't trust Calipari. I think he's an overrated coach. I think he's a good businessman and a good recruiter. But I think Kansas State's going to get him here. And
all right, now we
Didn't
got
Vanderbilt
Michigan
just
State,
beat the living
Marquette.
doors off of Kentucky recently too.
and then
Yeah.
I got Marquette. Just from here, what everyone said, they're playing really well right now. But they're a long, good, big team. So I'm gonna go with Marquette into the Sweet 16.
Okay, so we got
Purdue,
Duke, and Kansas State, Michigan,
And,
Marquette.
This one hurts to say, but I just don't trust Purdue come tournament time when they're in the Sweet 16. And like I said, this Duke team is getting better. The freshman, I'm going to say his name wrong, Filbosky, however you say it, he's playing really well. I think Duke's going to pull off the dub. And Jeremy Roach is going to have something to say about this game. So unfortunately, Duke makes it to the Elite Eight in a home game in New York City with all those people who work on Wall Street. And then they're going to be playing the Marquette Golden Eagles against Kansas State. Marquette's just hot. And I think they're going to advance there in New York City. And then Ethan and I are 2 for 2 on Final Four teams. Give me the Golden Eagles and Marquette. Make it to the Final Four out of the East region.
All right. That might be a smart pick.
Stay tuned.
Find out.